November 3rd, 2015, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. Hello there. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kate Daniels.
And we have a program for you today. We have no idea what we're doing here.
Come on now.
Oh, okay. Maybe we have a slight hint of an idea of what we're doing here. Today's the 3rd, right?
It is.
Today is Homemaker's Day.
Oh.
It was called Housewife's Day. I'm not crazy about that particular term. It's Homemaker's Day.
I like it.
Yeah. Today is also Sandwich Day.
Like that too.
That's right. Oh, today's Election Day, November 3rd.
It sure is. And you know that we've been leading up to this,
Yes.
talking about what? Know who's your candidates
Know
are.
your candidates.
Get out and vote.
That's
Today
right.
is the day.
Don't just arbitrarily go out and just pick names because either you like the way they sound or they look good on TV or anything like that, right?
That's right. That's right.
Do yourself a favor and do a little homework and make sure you're voting for the person that best suits your needs.
And don't make assumptions. Do not make the assumptions that the candidate that you think would be the best for the job, they're a shoo-in, they're gonna make it, because you know your vote certainly counts.
That's exactly
Be
right.
a good example in your family to other people, especially if there's young ones around.
Oh, yes.
Jeremiah and I, we go bright and early, and we try to go at the same time. So this morning, I was able to take the kids with me.
That's good.
So they could see.
No, not, and I'm glad you brought that up. This is election day for only certain parts of the county.
That's right.
And certain parts of the state. And this is not the presidential election. That's next year,
That's right.
next November. So, but this is election day, and it's all led to this point over the last month or so after the primaries and after the runoff, if there was a runoff. But not everybody in Wayne County will be voting today, but a lot of you will. So make sure you know what you're doing, what you're looking at, and cast your vote, knowing the person for whom you're casting your vote. That's so important.
It is so important. And if you're unsure, where to vote, and all that stuff is online.
Oh, yeah.
All of it is online.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can Google that, or you can contact the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce, and we can point you in the right direction.
And if you want to go into a little deeper than that, you can go to waynegov.com/BOE, Board of Elections. And there are maps, there are pictures of the polling places,
Right.
there's directions, there's a phone number, 731-1411 to get information. There's all kinds of information. And in fact, you go to dial 731-1411, they can actually, and you tell them where you live, and they'll actually tell you whether you're supposed to be voting today or not.
That's right.
Right.
That's exactly right. And the map is very helpful.
Very helpful.
It's very helpful to see where you fall. A lot going on.
I usually fall down.
You usually.
That's usually where I fall. The Seymour Johnson Air Force Base is going to have a run for the fallen. That's going to be taking place on the F-15E runways, and this is all open to the public.
How cool is that?
That is so cool.
It is an awesome opportunity to be at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base and run for a great cause.
Run for a great cause. Now, we had a First Lieutenant in the other day, and she told us all about it. And in fact, that interview ran last Friday. So if you happen to have missed that, we're going to tell you about it, and you'll also be able to see that interview a little later on. But on November 14th, I believe it is, November 14th, out at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, if you have a valid ID, you stop and they will allow you entrance, providing you go, and I say valid ID, that would be a driver's license or something like that, or an ID card. You'll be able to go out to the airfield, to the flight line, and actually run on the runways. And there'll be a 5K, I believe a 1K, and then a half marathon, 13 miles, and then a 10K or 5K, and then something else.
13 miles.
Yeah, that's way on out there. That's I have trouble with 13 feet.
Yeah.
But,
oh man, I'll be out there cheering people along. How about that?
But they do need volunteers, and it's going to be middle of November, so it may be a bit breezy. You know how it is on the flight line. It's windy out there, so take a jacket with you. But
perfect weather.
To get information about this, you can call Captain Alley, no relation, on base, and that number is to be given to you a little later on.
That's right. Sounds good.
Okay,
Sounds good.
that's
Little
good.
teaser. Little teaser.
That's a teaser. That's what that was. All right. We were at the ribbon cutting yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
Downtown Goldsboro.
Yes.
Woohoo!
You know, it's been open for business, but that was certainly the official ribbon cutting in downtown Goldsboro. So if you've not had a chance, come downtown, do some shopping and some eating, and see all the stuff going on.
Get serious. Yeah, get serious
serious.
about this now, okay? Let's see, now, the 5th of November, today's Thursday, after tomorrow.
Yep.
At 7:30 p.m., the U.S. Air Force Heritage of America Band, proud to present Heritage Brass. They've been here before. I remember these guys. They are so talented. A pioneering symphonic brass ensemble, bringing the military tradition of brass and percussion to the concert stage. Heritage Brass presents programs that are both exhilarating and intimate. The event is free, and it doesn't cost anything, and it's open to the public. You should call to reserve tickets in advance. You need tickets, but it is free. To call and get tickets, oh, that's the Paramount Theater.
It is.
919-583-8432. There you go.
How much are those tickets?
I believe they're free.
Free.
Absolutely free. And they don't cost anything either. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Your turn.
Exciting
What you
stuff.
got?
Exciting stuff. Well, tonight we've got a guide to a better life through positive thinking. It is a seminar that's being offered at
Wow.
the Chamber. Do you know Reese Gardner from Kinston?
Yes, I do know Reese.
You do know Reese
Yes.
Gardner. Well, it's funny.
Many
he
years.
is a Dale Carnegie
Yeah.
trainer.
I was going to say this is Dale Carnegie.
Yes,
Yeah.
and and this is something totally separate from that. But
Really?
he's been with the Kinston Free Press. I will say this: when I started working at the Chamber, I guess 2.5 years ago, has it been that long or that short of a time, depending on what day it is?
Really?
He calls and he introduces himself, and I said, when we were getting off, I said, "Sir, one moment, please. You have a fantastic voice."
He does.
He's got a great voice, and he told me that he's been on he's done a TV show. Was it a Reese Gardner show
Yeah.
on the TV?
He did.
But he comes to Wayne County and does these Dale Carnegie training courses. And he's offering this one that is a guide to a better life through positive thinking. It's a 2-night series, tonight and tomorrow night at the Chamber. So if you're watching this and it's too late for you to join in this year, contact the Chamber. We'll hook you up with him. He comes to Wayne County often and offers these seminars.
He's a great guy.
He is.
He does do the Dale Carnegie thing, and you may recall many years ago, before he passed away, Dale Carnegie wrote a book.
Yes. Yes.
The Power of Positive Thinking, and that it has been one of the best sellers of all time, and it still sells well.
It does.
And, it does, and Reese does a great job with that. But this is along the same lines, but he goes into more detail with this, I would think, knowing Reese Gardner.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and it doesn't matter what your business is. I mean, I've not gone through this yet, and unfortunately the date for this doesn't work, so I'm like, tell me when you're doing the next one. But it is amazing, the power of our minds, and we can dictate the kind of day we're going to have by how we've got it in our mind. Now, bad stuff may happen, of course, but how you react to it. If you position yourself when you wake up in the morning with a good attitude, you can handle the rest of your day so much better, and people feed off of it. If you're in a good mood or a bad mood, it is
contagious.
It
And
is.
you are so right about that. Some people don't believe it, but I promise you, it is true. You can actually control your entire day. Now, like you say, some things
bad
happen.
stuff can happen.
Sure, it happens all the time.
Yeah, follow me around all day. I'm late everywhere. I don't know. But your
You're falling
attitude,
down.
your attitude,
running
is the
into
one.
walls.
What is the quote? It's the one string you can play on your own. I mean, it is. So that should be a very, very, very powerful seminar.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go to our segment, and we'll be back. Today we welcome Selena Bennett to the studio, and Selena, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you.
Communities in schools. All right,
Yes.
I'll ask one more time. What is that?
Communities in Schools is a nonprofit agency, nationally accredited, state affiliated as well. The short version of this is that we are a program that provides assistance to at-risk youth.
Okay. Assistance to at-risk youth.
That is correct.
That's the short end. And that includes teen court,
That includes teen court.
which is a phenomenal program.
Yes, it is. It is.
And we talked with Aries the last time she was here about that, and we went into great detail about that. So
Yes.
we're gonna set that aside for today.
Okay?
And we're
Because
gonna
that's another whole chapter.
yeah, we could go for a month
We
talking
could.
about that. That's such a great program.
We could.
So as Executive Director of Communities in Schools, what do you bring to the table today?
Well, I wanted to share with you the fact that we are having our annual community partner meeting.
Wonderful.
It will be next Thursday morning. In fact, I brought an invitation to make sure that you have it on your calendar.
It's on my
because you
calendar.
know that you're invited.
Wonderful.
We are going to hold this at the Herman Park Center Auditorium.
Okay.
Russell Stevens, who is one of my board members and works with Goldsboro Parks and Rec, it has helped me to set this up. It will be at 9:30 in the morning.
All right.
Coffee, light refreshments.
Put it right in the middle of the screen there and let everybody zoom in on it.
Yes, and it's open to the community. Anybody who would like to attend, if they would just contact me either by email or by phone so that I can make sure I have enough coffee and donuts.
Right. We have coffee and donuts.
Coffee and donuts. I will
Wonderful.
be baking all next
Oh, I'm
week
sure you
preparing
will.
for this. I will.
I'm sure.
But this is just an opportunity for us to do a couple of things. We educate our community about the successes from our programming from last year. And also, it's an opportunity for us to thank the community because we have so many partners in this community, and without our community partners, we would not be able to serve the children that we serve.
Yeah.
This year, we're going to have some special entertainment. Orlando Mitchell, who has just recently opened up the Drummers World Drum Line,
Right.
he is bringing about 18 of his students. They're going to kick us off with great music and fun entertainment. We are having Dr. Dunsmore, our new superintendent from Wayne County Public Schools. He is going to come and speak for a few minutes. And I'm really excited because we have Dr. Eric Hall, who is the CEO and president of Communities in Schools of North Carolina.
Oh my. Okay.
And Eric is going to come and bring greetings from the state office. And
Wonderful.
also, Dr. Hall is going to share a little bit about what's going on at the national and state level as far as new, we call it TQS, which stands for Total Quality Standards, which means keeping your business in order.
Right. Okay.
We are not a nonprofit that flies by the seat of its pants, in other words. We are currently going through reaccreditation, which I can assure you is not an overnight process.
Right. Well, let me ask you this: while we're at that point,
Okay.
who accredits?
We are accredited by our national office. The national office, and by the way, we do not send them any money for anything. We are not an organization that pays dues. Our national and state office are like an advisory board and a support system for us. But they set the standards, and they're both business standards and site standards for every school that we are in. So we have a lot of hoops that we have to jump through. It's similar to being in the public school system where we used to go through the Southern Association process,
Yeah.
except this is kind of like Southern Association times 10
Okay.
because it's much more involved. It will probably involve a visit this summer where we will have people from the national office come down and speak with board members, speak to the principals in the schools that we work with. So that's what we'll do at our annual meeting is we will update our community partners and we will celebrate our successes from last year.
Of which there were many.
There were many, and in fact, I brought you, this is a copy of our impact report, and your
Okay.
eyes are the first to see it.
My little eyes,
Your
my
eyes,
brown eyes are the first to see it.
The
How
first
about
to
that?
see it. This report, I could not create it until our data was released from our state office just a few weeks ago.
I'll show that to the public. There you go.
This gives you just some very nuts and bolts information about our programming and some of the things that I'm so excited to share, and I'll just give you a few examples.
Okay.
Last year, 100% of the seniors that we worked with graduated from high school. 100% of the seniors that communities and schools worked with. Now, original is a phenomenal figure.
Yes.
Now, we know that there were students in Wayne County that did not graduate, but my data is based on the number of seniors that we worked with at Goldsboro High School and Southern Wayne High School.
Wow.
So we are not assigned every child that is at risk. We are assigned students where they think we can really help move the needle by going in and working with the school counselor, the school social worker, and the staff at that school.
So does that mean, and I don't want to shed a negative light on this, but
Right.
now does that mean that there are some students who are just not?
Well, it means that there are some students that we feel like we can invest the right amount of time and energy with, and then the school system is working with those other children.
Okay.
That does not mean that we give up on children.
Right.
We're in 6 schools. We can only target so many children at the time. So, for instance, at Southern Wayne High School in Goldsboro last year, our success coaches worked with and case managed between 50 and 75 students at those schools.
Wow.
Now, they worked with a lot more children, but when I say case managed, that means one-on-one services. If you spread yourself too thin, you're not as effective.
True.
So the kids that we are targeting are those kids that by providing the additional layer of support, we feel that we can truly help them to be successful.
Otherwise,
If I had more staff,
Yeah.
we could go in and target more children.
Yeah.
This does not say that the public school system is not doing their job. We are working with them. Total partnership, total collaboration. Dr. Dunsmore has been just as receptive as Dr. Taylor always was. This is a partnership,
yeah.
and we're all in it together.
So, but you're not at a point. You haven't peaked, have you? In your
No.
in your
No.
personnel, you're always looking for
We
new
are
people.
always looking, always wanting more money. We are totally grant funded. If I could find a donor to give me a few more $100,000.
Write a check.
I mean, so if anybody out there wants to write a check, we beg and we fundraise, and we've been very fortunate that our funding has been sustainable over the past couple of years, but you never know when it's going to change. There are a lot of nonprofits in Wayne County.
Yes.
Another statistic that I'm very proud of is that of those children that we worked with, 96% of our CIS kids were promoted to the next grade level.
96%.
96%. Some of the kids that we worked with, it might have been in their best interest to repeat a grade, to get that additional support another year. But 96% of the CIS students that were referred to us and that we case managed were promoted.
And these are students that had less of a chance of
They had
moving
less of
up.
a chance.
Less of a chance, and they were targeted by. Targeted is not a good word.
Well, they were
Selected.
selected based on there are four areas that we look at, and it's a new model. It's called ABC plus P.
ABC plus P. Okay.
A is attendance.
Okay.
B is behavior.
Okay.
C is your coursework or your academics.
Right.
And P is parental involvement.
Oh boy, that's good.
And that's the hardest piece. But we go in, and when we case manage a child, we set a goal or more than one goal, but it's based on their attendance. If we have a child that's failing because they're not coming to school, we help determine why is that child not in school and what can we help to do to increase their attendance. If it's behavior, if they are being assigned to in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension over and over again, what is going on in that child's life? Academics. You know, maybe it's a child that just feels like they just can't do it or they don't have a chance. Or maybe it is a child that needs some additional support services.
He may be bored.
Maybe that child is bored. Maybe
Yeah.
they're bored because we've not tapped into their real talents.
Yeah.
There are any number of reasons. And as a classroom teacher, I know that no matter how hard you work, there is not enough of a classroom teacher to go around to meet the individual needs of every child in that room.
True.
And so that's where we come in to assist. Another statistic from last year is that 99% of the kids that we worked with who were potential dropouts, 99% of them stayed in school. And it's very 99% of the students that were referred to us who were potential dropouts stayed in school.
That doesn't mean all of them. That means
doesn't
of
mean-
those that were potential
Of those
dropouts.
that were potential dropouts that our program was involved with.
Wow.
Now, I didn't make these numbers up. Let me explain how we get this data.
How'd you get this data?
We have a program called SISDM, which is Communities in Schools Data Management System.
Okay.
Everything that we do, we have to monitor and track. At the end of the year, we submit all of this information because let's say we're working with Wayne as a student. Every
student.
time we meet with you,
Yes.
that data goes into the computer. We track your grades, your attendance, your behavior.
Oh boy.
We know how many phone calls have been made to your home based on grades, attendance,
You
and
mean
behavior.
from the school?
From the school, from the
Okay,
teacher.
right.
And then at the end of the year, all of that information is uploaded into one big report that our state office reviews. After our state office gets that information, it is sent to a third-party researcher to evaluate that data. And that keeps us honest. That keeps
Yeah.
us from just putting in numbers and saying, oh, 100% of our kids did this, 95% of our kids did that. So that's how we get this number. In addition to those figures, I've got just a few more for you. We served 160 students in our teen court program last year. 160 were referred to us through either the school system or the district court office and went through our program.
Wow. Wow.
In 6 schools and the teen court program, which is our 7 sites, we served over 4,590 students. That means we touched them with a service in some way. It could have been a school supply. It could have been motivational speakers that were brought in. It could have been clothing for students who needed clothing. Because we do those kinds of things in addition to the support services for the academics.
I'm just quickly breaking this down in my poor little brain here, and that's in the teen court thing. That's 125 students a month that go through the teen court system.
Well, and what happens
on average?
What happens is once a child is referred to teen court, they have 90 days to complete the program. So you see, they're in there on an ongoing basis.
All right.
But we graduated or completed 160
Wow.
within the year cycle. So that's why Aries is busy.
So that 160, that's how I said 125 a month. That's a whole bunch of people.
That's a whole bunch of people.
And they continue going back. Teen court is so busy.
That's right. And that's just one, that's just one aspect of what we're doing.
Wow.
Stuff the Bus,
Oh yeah. That's
which is
big
a
one.
tremendous
Yes.
drive. We received $23,000 in either donations or supplies this past year.
Wonderful.
And all of those materials are distributed to students. And fortunately, we've tapped into some organizations that continue to give us those services throughout the year.
Wow.
They'll call at Christmas and say, we have school supplies. Do you have kids that need school supplies at Christmas? And we're always looking for more grants, more donations, and for more volunteers. We need mentors in our schools. We need volunteers for teen court. So we can help keep anybody busy as long as they can pass a background check.
So how much time is involved with volunteers? If I wanted to volunteer, how much time would you expect from me?
If you wanted to volunteer at one of our schools, we would want you to commit to one time a week to go in and work with a child for 15 to 30 minutes.
Once a week?
Once a week.
That's all?
That's all. Now, you can go more than once a week.
Okay.
Or you can volunteer to work with 5 children and you can set up 5 visits a week. But
Okay.
the reason we ask for a minimum of one time a week is because we want to help establish an ongoing relationship with a child.
Sure.
And we don't want somebody to start and then drop out and leave that child with another feeling of failure.
Yeah. And yes, that's exactly right, because they've been through that a lot already.
They have
in
already.
most cases.
And, you know, one of the questions that we get a lot when we ask about people volunteering in schools is, are you going to give me a difficult child? You know, I don't believe that any child wants to be difficult. I believe that some children by nature may not be as easy to work with as others. But when the principals select children that they want us to work with, these are children that in many cases are just hungry for attention.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to know that somebody else, in addition to their teachers and their principal and that school staff, they just want to know that there's another person that cares and wants to know about what's going on in their school day.
Yeah. So if someone calls you, that doesn't mean they're committed to do this, but they can call you and get more
They
information
can call
about
and
this.
get more information. And I speak to civic clubs, I speak to churches, I share this same information with them. And I'm very honest. You know, mentoring is not for everybody. Some people are a natural at it. So it's easier to get people to go into the elementary schools because you can get a book and read, and you know those children are just like little sponges. But as you go up to middle and high school, it gets more difficult, and people are not always as comfortable with middle school and high school children. But there's a
Unfortunately.
tremendous need there as
yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they need help. And there's the number on the screen. It's 735-1432.
That's correct.
919-735-1432. And Selena Bennett is our guest. Communities and schools need your help one way or the other, monetarily or volunteer to help. And there's a background check done.
Yes.
But if you really want to help and you're sincere about it, a minimum of 15 minutes to 30 minutes once a week.
Once a week.
And you can actually get the job done with that.
You can.
And if you wanted to put in more time, you could.
That's exactly right.
All right, 919-735-1432. Selena, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for watching. This is Wayne Goldsboro Television, in the heart of Goldsboro, in the heart of Wayne County.
We're continuing with our Tuesday here on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Just a couple of things for you very quickly here. There is going to be an essay contest for Downtown Lights Up. You can let your little one submit an essay of 250 to 300 words about why they love downtown during the holiday season. That's going to be great.
It is great.
2 writers will be selected to read their essays at Downtown Lights Up November 24th. Kids 3rd through 5th grade are welcome to enter. Mail the essays by November 19th. That's a cutoff date. Got to be in by the 19th to Downtown Goldsboro, 219 North John Street, Goldsboro. Well, that's DGDC's office, isn't it?
It sure is.
Okay.
Sure is.
Okay.
And you know, Lights Up Downtown is so I mean, it's the Christmas parade and Lights Up Downtown. There's a lot of great things that go on in the community, but those are 2 events that it is magical. It's magical. And last year, you know, I had our family out there, and the essay winners last year read in front of all these people, and they did so good. And it's such a neat contest.
Yes,
it's
it
such
is.
a neat contest.
Anyway, that's get them in by November 19th. Mail them to Downtown Goldsboro, 219 North John Street. And I would also think that you could drop those off there if you wanted, if you happen to be downtown. 219 North John Goldsboro, 27530. Let's see. This Friday is the first Friday.
Yes.
First Friday, looking for something fun and relaxing to start off your weekend? Well, then stop by the ACWC. You see? We see. So, see, ACWC, stop by for refreshments, see the latest art exhibits, meet local artists, and watch them at work.
Yes.
How about that? You get to
Fun
watch-
night, fun
Wow,
night.
that is fun. Listen to live music and more. You can go to get information at artsinwayne.org, artsinwayne.org, or call 919-736-3300. Arts in Wayne. First Friday. That's become quite a tradition.
It has, yes.
Lots of
The
fun.
first Friday of every month.
Yes. Oh, this Friday is Fish Fry Friday.
Yes, it is.
This Friday is the Shriners Fish Fry at Herman Park Center and in Mount Olive, across from Mount Olive Center next to Robert's Machine Shop there on Highway 55. $8 a plate, although you can give more. They will not object to that. Make it 10. Make it a nice, even, round number. I mean, call me Monk. You remember Monk on TV who had a bit of an obsessive disorder of some sort? Round numbers was his thing. He rounded up to the next good number. 10 is a good number. Give him $10 per plate. I mean, make it easy. That way there's not messing with change or anything like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah, keep it simple. Anyway, that's whiting rather. It's fish, whiting, coleslaw, potato salad, hush puppies. And if you're eating inside of Herman Park Center, you get tea or water. And plus you get to talk to all your friends and buddies here. And if you don't know anybody, then you make new friends and buddies, right?
That's right.
It's a great event, and it's for the Shriners Children's Hospital. The Shriners Children's Hospital will benefit directly from this fish fry. So we need to help these folks out, support the Shriners. And the problem was that they had to. This is a redo because it rained out the last fish fry back in October. So we want to support the Shriners. Please support the Shriners by going to the Shriners Fish Fry this Friday from 11 till 2, and then again 4 till 7 p.m. Thank you very much. Buy American. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What else do we have here? You know, I guess that's about it. We're about out of time. I guess I could go on and on.
Happened
and on.
again.
It happened again. I could go on and on. But we'll be back tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock. And until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kate Daniels.
And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.